Welcome to Fight Court. Yes, UFC 303 this week, but that's not what we're talking about today. I'm Dean Thomas. I'm joined with my boy, Ryan Quinn, the Mighty Quinn, and we have a special guest today. Always love having my man on, King Mo, Muhammad Lawal. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Good.
That's what's up, man. Ryan, you ready to get shot down today?
Yeah, you had some choice words on Instagram there that need to be addressed, so let's get to it.
Listen, man, I'm tired of you talking garbage. Okay, so just to give some context here.
I'm tired of you talking all together.
What you tired of?
Keep going. I'm tired of you. Tired of you.
All right, so just to give some context here, over the weekend at Bellator, Conor McGregor shows up at Bellator, gets on the mic with Dan Hardy, who is inside the cage interviewing him, and he starts talking about his comeback, his injury and his comeback. Now, because of this, Ryan believes that it's a bad look, but I'll let him explain himself on this.
It is definitely a bad look, especially because the UFC and Bellator were head-to-head at the time. You don't give social media the opportunity to go, Conor McGregor is on Bellator. You don't give the fans the opportunity to change the channel and look at the opposition. Now, granted, there's quite a distance between the opposition, but you don't give them a window. You just don't do it. You don't mention the others. No. Like I said in my piece, it reminds me of when WCW and WWF were going head-to-head in Monday Night Wars, and the DX were going to invade Monday Nitro in Norfolk, Virginia, because they were close. They said the biggest regret, Eric Bischoff said, the president of WCW at the time, my biggest regret was not letting DX through the doors, so then the opposition, the people watching the opposition, come and watch my show. That's exactly what Bellator and Conor McGregor did. I really wonder what the opinion of the UFC brass is going to be on that one. Big slip up.
No, well, first off, the UFC has no say in Conor going on a Bellator show. They can't tell him he can't go on a Bellator show regardless. They have no say in that because they don't own him that way.
Do they though?
Yes, I'm saying
there's no outlets that is taboo to be going on. The UFC is, let's face it, they could be petty, man. Like, so they can't deny that?
They can't deny it. Same as when John Jones was at the PFL. They can't deny it. So it wasn't the UFC's doing. It was Conor's doing. Now, here's the thing. It was in Conor's backyard. It was in Dublin. Conor might have been cornering a fighter. But here's the real reason he was cornering a fighter. But here's the reason why I think he took that as an opportunity to get out in front of the public and tell everybody about his injury and that he's okay and he's going to be back, was because earlier, and a few days before, Chael Sonnen goes on Good Guy, Bad Guy and tells everybody that Conor McGregor is going to rehab or is in rehab. So Conor probably just wanted to clear the air and get ahead of it and make sure that everybody knew it was okay. Was it a bad look? Yeah, for the UFC to have a guy, the most popular fighter of all time, going on the quote-unquote rival company, but they can't do nothing about that. And for Conor, he just probably wanted to get out there and just tell the fans that he's not in rehab. That's probably what it was. He just wanted to tell them that he was not in rehab.
I have nothing against cornering other fighters and other promotions. Both of you guys did it your whole active career, fighting for one promotion, fighting for another. That happens. But Dean, as you said on here a couple of weeks ago, this is one of the most powerful people in combat sports. He could have went to any platform he wanted. He chose to take that interview.
Well, and here's another thing too. And I know this because last summer I did the Tough 31. Conor McGregor, I did the post show for Tough 31, Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. And the numbers didn't do that good, which suggests to me that just because, like, Conor is almost bulletproof. Almost, but not fully. Just because he's involved doesn't mean it's going to be always a complete washout. Like, he's not that bulletproof. And I think, and just because he was involved at the Bellator thing doesn't mean people were going to change the channel. Especially who? I mean, I don't even know what point of the UFC that was. Like, at what point in the UFC was that?
That was, I believe, right at the start of the main card or the end of the preliminary card.
Nah, ain't nobody watching Bellator. I don't give a fuck either way. I don't care if people turn the channel to see Conor McGregor. I don't give a fuck. But the reality is, we have another argument. So we want to discuss. Also, over the weekend, Alexander Volkov had a fight against Sergey Pavlovich, and there was a little bit of tension in between the two because they were training partners, former training partners. They had different stories of how long they trained with each other, but the reality is there was a connection between the two. And it brings me to the question, is it cool to fight your training partners? Like, at what point is it okay, or is there any law, or is there any stipulation that must be had between the two guys? So, King Mo, I'm gonna come to you first. What is your take on this?
Look, it's a team sport as far as preparation, but at the same time, it's an individual sport because when you go in that cage, it's you by yourself. And also, your partner has the opportunity to turn you down and say, no, I don't want this fight. But guess what? If he says yes, that means that y'all were teammates, but y'all ain't like boys. Y'all ain't blood. It's different fighting blood. Teammates,
But that was the thing, though. But that was the thing. Apparently, they were saying that that the UFC had told each guy that the other guy had accepted it before they accepted it, just so that they would be like, he accepted it for real? And they didn't realize that until the weigh-in, where they were like, yo, why did you accept this fight? And he was like, because you did. And they almost got into it there.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, but I think that's kind of some bull because, look, imagine friends have each other's numbers, right? Why they contact each other on social media, make a phone call, talk to other friends, see what's going on. But obviously, they weren't that close.
That's the reality.
Yeah, they could have been that close. A fight's a fight.
I think that people make too big a deal of the teammate versus teammate thing. I mean, I guess it was real topic of conversation. I mean, this happened quite a bit in Bellator before it started happening more often in the UFC. But, you know, and I know we've talked about this before in wrestling. You go to wrestling tournaments all season long, you got to wrestle your teammates. And it is what it is. Now, we know what we're trying to do here. I think that if you're in a situation where you're on a collision course with one of your teammates, have that conversation prior. Be like, hey, listen, there's a good chance we might have to fight. I think we're both professionals. We love each other. We want to support our family, but this is what we do. Let's get it done. We'll be friends again after. I mean, I had fought one person who I trained with, and then I actually fought another person who actually was my first MMA coach for a little while. And same thing, you know, like we were friends on Facebook and shit, and we were just like, hey, man, you know, this is what it is. This is what we got to do to get to the next level. All right, yeah, man, we'll trade T-shirts after. Peace. And then, you know, that was it. You get to business. Not everyone feels that way, but like I said, I give Merab Dvalishvili a lot of credit with the whole Aljamain Sterling thing, how he's willing to sit out that time. Like, I don't think I could do that. You know, I not that he's his second fiddle or anything like that, but I wouldn't put myself in that situation. Like, I would try to figure it out. And then when it comes to the training, I would kind of put that on the coaches. Hey, we're in this situation. Can you figure out our schedule? Because, you know, this is what we do.
Well, the Merab thing is a little different because, you know, Merab he was like, listen, I wouldn't even be in the position to fight Aljamain if it wasn't for Aljamain. So, like, that was like his whole thing. He was just like, I'm only this good because of this man. So why am I going to fight? So I get that. That's a level of respect that most people can't understand. And I get it, man. And I'm all for that. For sure. Like, if a guy has that mentality, but the reality of it is this, and I'm going to tell y'all like it is. The reality is that when guys don't want to fight each other, the one who's salty about it is the person who always gets beat in the gym. That's the dude that's salty about it because he knows. He knows. He's like, damn, I don't want to. And the only time it's the other guy is maybe he might really like him and he feels bad for him. And he's like, damn, I'm going to have to do him like I do him in the gym. But the guy is, because with the Pavlovich and Sergey thing, we didn't know, us or the public didn't know how their sparring sessions went. I thought Sergey was going to beat him. But you know who knew? Volkov knew. Volkov said, yeah, that's exactly how I used to go in training. That's why Volkov wasn't salty at the end. When it was over, Pavlovich was like, oh, man, get off me. And he was salty because he knew how they used to train, and he knew he was going to have to fight him. That's why he was salty. And the reality is, man, that if you got to fight a guy that's beating you in practice, it is your job to try to make adjustments. You have to try to make adjustments. That should level you up. It should actually encourage you to get better. But fighters are so damn sensitive and soft that they just accept it. Oh, this guy's better than me. I'm going to get mad and be like, no, we're brothers. We can't fight. But the reality is that you should be able to fight most guys, even if you're training partners, you should be able to fight them. I give you a couple exceptions. Like, again, Merab and Aljamain, there's a couple exceptions. But for the most part, the reality is these motherfuckers ain't all that close.
I agree.
They ain't that fucking close to where they can't fight each other. They train together, have a few moments together, but it's not like most of these dudes grew up together and was brothers, like that. That's different. But I think they just use it as an excuse because they know what's going to happen in the fight and they don't want everybody to see it. Ryan, you got anything else on this?
No, I can see that. I have seen that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yep, I'm with that.
King Mo, I think you got a felon for our felon of the week this week, huh?
Yeah, felon of the week is my boy Azamat Bakayev. He retained his LFA title this past weekend with the second round knockout of Chauncey Foxworth, which was nasty. He's riding a 6-fight winning streak. He has a record of 18-3. So, I mean, the UFC is somebody. He wants to go to the UFC.
Yeah.
And
where is he from?
He's from Ossetia, Kafkas, Vladimir Kafkas. He'll be the first. They're great wrestlers that come from there, but he was the first Russian from that region to make it. So like Hashmurat Gatsava, Kaytag Gazumov, Arsen Fatsayev, the great wrestlers, they come from that region, and he'll be the first Ossetian to make it in the UFC. And it's a big deal.
I love it. Well, we look for him. I watched that knockout. He put it on Chauncey Foxworth.
Yeah,
I saw it. You see that, Ryan? Yeah, he put it on, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey's never been stopped before, man. Chauncey, he's a vet. He's tough. He's gritty. He's talented. He has never been stopped before. But my boy, Azamat Bakayev, did it. Got that knockout.
All right, my man. We will look for you. And on that, gentlemen, what a day it's been. I appreciate you guys. We will do it again next week. All love in the hood. If you like the show, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And on that note, this court is adjourned.